I guess we were just four guys that actually fell in love with the same kind of music. You know, South Africa's music scene's been predominantly dominated by American culture, and the music that we liked was music that was coming out of Britain, like the Smiths and the Cure, and we all fell in love with those bands. And we don't necessarily sound like them now, but they were the bands that sort of inspired us to get together and say, let's create a sort of a British flavour. But that's, I mean, we got together out of, I mean, none of us could play an instrument. We just said, hey, let's start a band. So it's something that's evolved, you know. It's almost grown organically. We've, you know, our level of competence has improved at the same speed, and obviously that's the product of what we are today. But yeah, you know, I think it's probably a good thing. You know, had we set out to go and find, you know, brilliant musicians, we may have never got this far. The fact is that we were four guys that got on, liked similar music, and, you know, said let's recreate it, let's learn it ourselves. Well, we keep coming back and forth, but we've probably, I think the first time we came was November 2006. So you could say basically a year and a half we've been coming back and forth. Okay, the first album did nothing back home, and we didn't even release it yet. The second album, Radio Controlled Robot, is the album we're actually promoting abroad. And then we've just released the third album in South Africa. It's doing really well. It's actually just gone platinum about 2 months ago, so it's doing really well. That album we'll release here next year, early next year, and the idea is that by the time the next album is written, it's, you know, it's a simultaneous release. No, it's actually, you know, Parlotones Records. Yeah, we sort of, well, there's a lot of bands on that label that we really love, like the Beatles and Radiohead, and so we decided to sort of take that name and morph it into a name of our own. We didn't want to use something that you could possibly, because it's happened to a couple of bands in South Africa where they choose a name and they tour this name for, you know, a year and a half, only to Google it later to find that there's some band in America that's already has the same name. So we wanted some made-up name that was our own. So this is our second time in Moles. At Moles in Bath. No, we were probably in Bath about a year ago. It was quite a cool show actually. It's very nice. I actually like the town a lot. Very picturesque, and you know, it's got sort of it's big enough to, you know, not get bored in, but it's small enough to feel like you sort of in the country, away from the hustle and bustle of daily life. Yeah, there's no African sound in our music. You know, maybe some of what we sing about, look, obviously a lot of what we sing about is stuff that we experience, which is, you know, is an African experience per se. But I think, you know, it doesn't matter where you're on the continent, there are universal experiences or universal feelings, and that's pretty much, yeah. You know, we don't. It's not like we've got penny whistles or anything that makes us sound African. From the outset, you know, our goal was to be considered an international band. You know, sort of music that could cross many boundaries, or whatever, like rock does and like pop does. You know, without sort of being considered world music or considered an African band. Yeah, we wanted to be sort of on the same playing field. Sure, yeah, the four guys in the band, you got Neil on drums, you got Paul on guitar, myself on guitar and vocals, and Glenn plays bass and some keyboard. We go back, well, we actually go to the States. We got 4 shows in the States, but they're all showcases. We're playing in LA, New York, Chicago and Detroit. and then we head back home and we do a club tour there, and then we actually do an unplugged tour. Sort of two different markets. You know, the club circuit, you'll obviously find your younger crowd shuffling in, and the unplugged vibe, it's generally an older crowd. And then in our summer, in December, we go on a tour that stretches across all the coastal towns. And that's very cool. All of the band members have girlfriends. One of the band members, Paul, is married, and he has a baby actually, or toddler. She's about 4. So yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, that's part of the sacrifice of being in a band, is you're going to spend a lot of time away from the people you love, and you're going to miss out on a lot of, you know, weddings and birthday parties and, you know, just stuff that happens in people's lives. But it doesn't matter. I mean, I think it's a small price to pay to get to do what you want to do. I mean, this is our occupation. So yeah, I'm cool with it. We played no festivals in the UK. We played a festival in Ireland. Played one in Switzerland, St. Gallen, open air, which was very cool. That's pretty much it. Well, I actually prefer the smaller venues, because, yeah, look, we've played many big venues, or I mean big festival vibes in South Africa, and you feel very, first of all, detached from the audience, because they're sort of there, and you also feel very detached from your band, because you sort of spread over, you know, the drums, when you used to the drums being right here, suddenly it's the back of the stage, the guitarist down there, the bassist down there. You almost, even your monitor mix was generally on a small stage, you'd get this full sound. You know, you're just getting sort of this thin mix of, you know, of the music. So it's hard to actually get as into it as you would in a smaller type venue. And I think even as a fan of music, I prefer watching bands in a smaller environment. No, we look, not on purpose, but, you know, obviously our whole upbringing in South Africa is just politics. I mean, from when I was knee high, you know, it's all been about politics. So we've steered away from that. We don't want to be a political band. We don't want to, you know, as South Africans, we hear about it all the time. That's, you know, someone else can sing about that and get that message. And if a song comes to me and it's something that I really truly want to express, I'll sing about a political agenda. But you know, we don't want to be a political band. We want to sing songs that, you know, help you maybe escape from life, or, you know, help you get through a personal moment. But so, yeah, I mean, generally we'll speak about matters of the heart, or, you know, just life experience outside of politics and all of that.
Good so far.